Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. And now, celebrating 15 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you all back to our program. Also, those tuning in to our online affiliates around the world, including our iHeartRadio family. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. I was just saying to our next guest, it's hard to believe, but it's been almost 4 years since J. Anthony Brown has been on our program, but I have to say he's been a little busy in that time, so we definitely understand why he hasn't been with us. You know him, of course, because of his work in radio. He's also known, of course, for his work in television and film and being able to make you all laugh on the stage as well. In the middle of all of that, he's also been recognized for his entrepreneurship. We're going to talk to him not only about the journey that he's been on, but also what it's been like for him to do work that he loves, but also that brings joy to so many others and how you all can stay connected with him. J. Anthony, hello to you. Welcome back to the program.
Man, thanks for having me on the show, man. I really appreciate it, man. I didn't, like we were talking about earlier, I guess when it's something that you're doing, that you really like doing, you don't really realize how many people it touches. I just don't. Right. You know, the whole time that I was on the Tom Joyner show, I did that for 20 years, and now to be on the Steve show, you just take it, I'm not saying you take it for granted, but you don't really know how many people you reach. You don't really take into account. Man, we reach in, 4 or 5 million people every day. Isn't that cool? Isn't that great?
It's an amazing
that's
thing.
Just the way it is. That's an amazing thing. That's just the way it is.
But, the thing is, that is only just one part of the way that you've been able to reach people, Jay. That's the other humbling thing about it, right? I mean, that's just one slice of the pie for you. As I said, you're known for your work on the stage. You're known for your work on television, film. Do you still have those wow moments when you kind of just reflect on what's been your life?
Every morning, man. I mean, I wake up, the journey for me is I started doing stand-up comedy in a little small club in Columbia, South Carolina. The next thing I knew, I'm moving to Atlanta, just because I was going to be a designer. What a lot of people don't know, I was going to be a fashion designer. I went to tailoring school in Denmark, South Carolina. I became a tailor and was a tailor for about 10, 15 years. And then I got the comedy bug. And then, from the first day that I drove to L.A., the very first day I drove to L.A., the next day I'm on the lot of Paramount just to go see a friend. Not to work, just to go see a friend. And then I ended up getting a job writing for Arsenio. And the rest is like, when they say history, it really is. It's just like, it's amazing to me. It really is, man. And it's just a blessing. It's a total blessing.
Right. Yeah, I'm always curious when I speak to someone like yourself, J. Anthony, who have achieved the things that you have and have been the places that you've been. Did you always know that you were meant for greatness? Because I think for a lot of people, when they kind of think about where they are geographically, a lot of times they may say, you know what, from a naturalist point of view, it makes no sense that I'm able to get to where I've gotten. But did you always know that you were meant to be something greater than a location, that you were going to be someone who was going to be able to touch the world?
No. I tell you what I really said to myself over and over and over and over. And I don't know if it was cocky. I knew I would be good at what I decided to do. And trust me, when I first started doing comedy, good was not even the word that I would use. I was horrible. I was so bad, to go up on stage and, have those nights where you don't do that good, and that's with any job. But I just knew that if I stuck with it, that I would be good. That was just one thing I knew. And as a tailor, I would sit in the back when I was working in tailor shops, and I would just literally sit and talk to myself about my act, about what I was going to say on stage, and I was going to say this, and I was working my act out in my head. I recently saw this movie, called A Man on the Moon. It was about Andy Kaufman. And it just showed how he started from an early age performing. And it's the same thing with me. I knew I wanted to be a comedian, and I knew I would be good at it. I wasn't good at it first, but I knew if I stuck with it, I would become good. I just knew that. I just felt that way from day one. And that's just pretty much the attitude that you have to take when you start an endeavor in life, that I know this is going to get better for me. I'm going to be better at this. This is something I want. I just see myself doing it. And that's how it worked out for me.
Right. Right. And along the way, not only, of course, did you be able to hone your craft, but you also were able to draw a following. Of course, now with social media, that following has been amplified because of the way we're able to stay connected. What has that component been like for you, J. Anthony, to think about how Facebook, how Twitter, how those platforms have helped to literally allow you to reach the world no matter where you might be?
Well, it has changed the game, and I don't know how old you are, but I'm pretty sure you've heard of the phrase the chitlin circuit, which is what black entertainers went through in terms of connecting with their audience. You got on so you go Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, and that was the chitlin circuit. Well, the internet is the new chitlin circuit. It allows you to reach people that you never could reach before, have a comment. They can see what you're thinking. They can see where you are. They can talk to you. It's the internet has changed the game. And if you're my age, over 60, and you're not internet savvy, you need to be, because what's going to happen or what's happening is you will get left behind. So we don't live in a flip phone area, a flip phone age anymore. We're way past that. And I don't know as much as I should know. I'm older than pretty much it, but I know a lot. I know a lot more than people who are my age, and it's just something you have to do. Especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to go in business for yourself. You better get somewhere and sit down with somebody and let them teach you this internet game, because it is the next phase. Let me just put this to you. We're talking on the phone. Now, do you know 20 years ago, nobody had a cell phone?
Yeah.
Now, do you think the phones are going to stay around? No, they're going to be gone. I don't know what type of invention they're going to have, but we're not going to have to be connected to this phone in our hand anymore. That's the future. And you're just going to be left behind if you don't get on it. And it's changed the game for me. It really has. At my age.
Right.
So I love it. Absolutely love it.
And I think that's the amazing thing. And I think, too, not only, of course, like you said, it allows us to connect, but also to be able to find out, like, the way that you use it. I mean, to be able to find out where you're performing next, what people
what you're doing,
to be able
right.
to exactly. I mean, it's one of those great tools when used well. Definitely it has its benefits. The other thing that I noticed about you when I was prepping for this segment is that the respect that you have garnered over the years, not only, of course, from your audience, but also from your peers. I mean, what has that experience been like for you to know that there are people who you're in the same profession of, who look up to you, who respect you, and who want to see you go higher?
I just had a birthday party, and a lot of the comedians that perform at my club came to the J Spot. It wasn't a roast or anything, but just the fact that they showed up, just the fact that they took the time out to come back and say hi. My club's been open 11 years. I've been at this for almost 40 years. I always try to, take the time to sit down and give somebody a little piece of knowledge that I know about. And sometimes when you're in a craft or you don't really want money. You just want somebody that's doing the same thing that you're doing to talk to about it. I mean, you're in radio.
Yeah.
Just to be in a position where you could talk to somebody who's doing the same thing. You don't want money. You don't want to move in. Just, how did you do this? And just to enlighten their spirit. And it meant a lot when I first moved to L.A., man. I had met George Wallace in Atlanta. And I met him in Atlanta, and I said, man, I'm coming to L.A. And when I get to L.A., he said, when you get to L.A., look me up, man, And I'm like, cool. So he's playing at this club, and I find out he's there, and I go to the club, and I'm watching him perform, and he's at the spot I want to be at. And when he comes off stage, I say, hey, Mr. Wallace, he walks right by. I'm like, damn, he didn't even speak. And then he remembered where he saw me at, and he came back. And it just, even talking about it, it was such an enlightening night for me to to be in a position where I could just talk to somebody that's doing what I want to do. So my advice to people, if somebody comes up to you and they're interested in doing what you're already doing, take the time out to try to talk to them. I know there's probably been some people that when I maybe blew them off, but there's a lot of people that I sat and talked to, and that's probably where the respect comes from, that I've sat down and talked to them and given them a little advice.
Right. And that respect will only continue to grow for you. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. J. Anthony Brown is our guest today. We're talking with him not only about his amazing journey in radio, but also what it's been like for him to bring laughs to the stage, and also, of course, to be able to be seen on a lot of other platforms like television and film, and then, of course, his work as an entrepreneurship. You know, you mentioned, you know, the moves that you've been able to make, the geographic moves you've been able to make. I want to talk about the role, you know, of faith and overcoming fear, faith over fear for you, because, you know, you've been able to do some big things, and there are people out there who will say, you know what, I want to do it, but I'm afraid. How have you not allowed fear to stop you?
Well, fear is a very important part of what I do, and I've said this over and over again. Pretty much everything I've done, I've been scared-less. I am so afraid. I'm afraid before I go on stage, but I don't let the fear stop me from doing it. I've done it. You got to understand. When I got a writing job, I couldn't type. Fear could have kept me back from taking that job, and I figured it out. Get an assistant. Moving to L.A., I didn't know anybody. I could have stayed in South Carolina. Fear could have said, well, that's a long way. You don't know anybody there. Don't go. Sometimes fear is going to be a prevalent part of what it is, the next step you want to take in your life, but you got to go past it. If you don't always put yourself in a situation where you are afraid, you will not grow. You will not grow. Yeah. You will not grow. You will stay stagnant to where you are, and fear will keep you in the same position. Fear is around me all the time. I'm the oldest person over here on this job. I'm the oldest person in my club. I'm the oldest comedian out there in some of the places I go to perform. But do I let that stop me? No. Fear is going to be very, very prevalent of what you're doing, but you cannot let fear stop you. You acknowledge it, accept it, and let it help you to grow. It's going to make you better. It definitely will.
Right. Okay, well, let me ask you a question to go along with that then, because you bring up an interesting thing. There will be people that will look at you and look at where you are today and say you have made it. So the question becomes, what is it that keeps you wanting more? Because you've done so much. What is it that keeps you wanting to keep topping where you are?
Just the ability to. I could sit down and take it easy. I love going on stage. I'm writing on the Steve Harvey Show. I'm on the radio show with Steve. I love doing it. It's just the love for doing what it is you're doing. Groucho Marx was on stage until his 80s. Rodney Dangerfield, Moms Mabley, Shirley Hemp, all these people. It's just the love of what you're doing, and that you just don't want to do it. And you got to understand, this ain't like I'm doing roofing or tarring a highway. It's really this is really not that hard. I write jokes for Steve for the television show. I do the radio show. I write for that, and then I go on stage in my club and I perform, and that's what I like doing. And then I draw the rest of the day. So it's not that hard. And once you find something that you really like or you have a real passion for, you'll do it for a long time because you like doing it. And I always tell people when they talk to me about what it is, or about when they try to figure out, well, what direction should I go in? Find something in life that you would do for free, that you love doing for free. Become good at it, and somebody will pay you money to do it. That's it.
That's so true.
It's not
that
true. Complicated. Yeah.
Right.
You want in. Free gets you in the door. Free will. I started working for Tom Joyner for free. I used to go up to Steve Harvey and hang out on his show when I had the Tom Joyner show for free. I used to go to comedy clubs and work out for free. And I'm sure in your radio endeavors, you've done radio shows for free.
Yeah.
Free gets you in the door. free gets you in the door. It's such a conversational breaker. You want to be a barber? Go to a bunch of barber shops and say, man, I come in here every day and sweep up hair for free because I just want to get in. You want to be a baker? Yeah. Go to a bakery shop and say, man, I just want to come in and help. You ain't got to pay me. Just let me in here. That's how you get your education. Education gets you free. You know, most education you get, nobody pays you. You pay to go to school to learn what you have to learn.
Right.
So that's a good way to get
in.
So
that is great advice.
Is the setting part for me. Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is. I mean, it's a great, and someone needed to hear that. Someone needed to know, what that thing was that can help them. And you're right. I mean, being willing. I mean, and that's almost like investing in yourself. If you really want it, you'll be willing to take that, and to be able to take that knowledge and invest in yourself, knowing it can help you moving forward. That is awesome. Again, everyone, J. Anthony Brown has been our guest. We've been talking with him about the journey to where he is today, the great things he's been able to achieve, but also the people he's been able to touch and what has helped him to get where he is. If you're not staying connected with him, we definitely invite you to go to his website, janthonybrown.com. Again, that's janthonybrown.com. That will redirect you to jspotcomedyclub.com, and there you can stay connected with him on social media and also, of course, find out where you can be able to see him next for sure. J. Anthony, it is always a pleasure speaking with you. I'm so glad we had this opportunity again.
Thank you. If your people are listening in the Columbia, South Carolina area, I'll be at the Township Auditorium on June the 16th, and I'm at the J-Spot, Los Angeles, California, 5581 West Manchester Avenue every Tuesday. And you can hear me on the Steve Harvey Show 3 days a week. That's where I'm at.
There you go. All right, so definitely look out for him. Anthony, congratulations to you. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Oh, well, exactly. Exactly. I appreciate you, and looking forward to speaking
thanks
again.
Thanks for having me. All right, anytime. Call me.
All right. Take care.
Later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.